Hello, my friends, and welcome to Metro TV. I'm your host, Andy Hoig. Today, we are talking to the Autism Action Partnership and all about their Common Senses Festival coming up in April. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome, my friends. I am so excited to be here today with Kate Weitz. She is the director of the Common Senses Festival and a Autism Action Partnership board member. And Justin Dougherty, he is the president and CEO of Autism Action Partnership. We're here to talk about the Common Senses Festival. Welcome, Kate and Justin.
Thank you, Andy.
So a lot of people may not know what the Common Senses Festival is. And it's a month-long festival tying in with Autism Action Partnership. So I'll just let one of you take it away and just kind of give us a brief overview, and then we're going to get into the specifics of this month-long festival. So who's going to take that first?
I'm going to let Justin actually take the first one.
Okay, go for it, Justin.
Okay, so the Common Senses Festival is, I'll call it an extravaganza, Andy.
Okay.
It's 4 weeks through the entire month of April. We are headquartering a number of installations, interactive installations at Coneco, which will run for the entire month, and then have a number of events and activities throughout the entire month. The goal of the festival is to get all members of our community to pause and reflect on their own processing of senses. So all of the human senses, how do you process, how do you experience an environment? And then to take that next step and to begin to consider that there's others in our community that they're around every day that process those same environments different because of hypo or hypersensitivity to the environments. So it's which is over 85% of individuals with autism have unique sensory needs, and so that's really globally the overview of what the festival hopes to accomplish.
Yeah, well, I'm so excited for what's going to happen through the month of April, but I do want to have Kate just briefly tell us. I mean, this festival is here because of what you experienced in New York, correct? Okay,
yes.
Just tell us briefly about just how this came to be.
Absolutely. So my son, Freddie, is on the autism spectrum, and my husband and I are both very involved in the arts community. We both worked in the arts community for a very long time. And so we found out about the Big Umbrella Festival, which is at New York City's Lincoln Center. It was a month-long specifically arts, performing arts festival for kids on the spectrum. We found out about it and we're like, well, we have to go. And it was great. We loved it. Freddie did, 3 different theater productions. He got to go to different shows, did a jazz class, ballet class, all within the confines of Lincoln Center. And, it was great. It was just this wonderful time for the 3 of us to kind of bond and have this experience. But I think the part that was just upsetting is that we were in New York. We weren't at home. We had to go to New York to experience this.
Yeah.
And so came home and realized that, because of the unique kind of setup with our involvement in the arts community in Omaha, and then the board that I sit on, that I serve for Justin's organization, Autism Action Partnership, we were able to start building something similar, but I think better and much broader.
Yeah. And just correct me if I'm wrong, because we met back in January to really look at that, at this, because I will say just it's the cover of our issue that just came out. Everyone go to spiritofomaha.com. You can check out the story there. But this has kind of been in the works for a while, right?
Yes. So
for years, maybe. For
years.
Yeah. Okay.
We took Freddie in 2018 and then literally came home and started planning. Obviously something of this scale would take a while to plan, but then the pandemic has set us back. And so we've postponed it twice.
Yeah.
So we're thrilled that that's happening.
Yeah. Again, I'm so excited. So let's just first talk. The importance of a festival like this. I know, Justin, you touched on it, but but just talk a little bit more. And then I want to talk specifically kind of about what people can expect, because there is, like you said, there's a lot going on and a lot of really amazing artists and people that throughout the month of April. But what is the importance, and especially for our community?
Yeah, so I'll kind of echo a little bit of what Kate, add to what Kate
Sure.
just shared. So about the big umbrella festival, and that's the arts community, and we're certainly bringing the spirit of that to our community and leveraging all the fantastic organizations that we have here. But the kind of the more unique component, or the piece that sets out our festival, I believe, from some of the other festivals that are kind of across the country,
Sure.
is that through Kate's experience, there's this whole research and science world
Right.
that our families, the autism community navigates and deals with, and they're all working towards in trying to create better environments and better lived experiences. And a lot of what they're working on is beautiful to look at. It is about senses, which is so much of what the art world is about. So even on the cover of the magazine there, that's an architect's design who has a child with autism, and he is trying to figure out how to use his skills and talents to create an experience for his daughter, right? And so that's the culmination, the combination of these two houses, if you will, the arts and the sciences, together to show how complementary they are and how they're kind of working together in a way that really creates specifically some of the unique installations create a better sensory experience for individuals with autism.
Sure. And I have to apologize. This is what Zoom happens. I've got this blind kitty over here that keeps trying to get close to me, and she doesn't ever do that. So, she's just like, maybe she's using her senses to, the ones that she doesn't have, but she can't see. So
anyway. Primer for the interview. Come on, Andy.
Yeah, I know. Oh, gosh. And I'm like, okay, so I want to get into the components, because again, there's a lot of organizations that you're working with. There's a lot of components. So why don't we just start off and kind of maybe look at the agenda, and then maybe that might take us to the components?
Yeah, I'll start on this just because we actually have something that's already opened. A very, the majority of our programming is all through April, but actually one of the shows that we took Freddie to in New York, Common Senses and AAP, we've worked with the Rose Theater, and they licensed Up and Away. It's a show that was created just for kids with sensory issues, mostly autism spectrum, but it's pretty much for any child that has a neurodivergent diagnosis. So that could be ADHD, that could be any type of intellectual disability. I mean, really anything, right? So that opened last weekend. It is open at the Rose now. It is an immersive show. It is fantastic. And if there are parents that are watching this, or grandparents that are watching this, there are tickets available at the Rose. And so that's actually running right now. And I took Freddie on Friday, and it was the same wonderful experience it was in New York. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
And when does that runs for how many weeks?
That will run, it opened March 12th. It'll run through April 4th.
Okay.
So,
okay, great. So is there kind of like a kickoff? Okay. Is there, on April 1st, is there because that's a Friday, is there a, some kind of grand kickoff happening?
Yeah, so the April 1st, we're hosting kind of a sneak preview for a lot of the families and individuals that have helped either through Autism Action Partnership and or Common Senses Festival make this possible. And then April 2nd is World Autism Day. And so every year we have a celebration here, a variety of ways depending on pandemics, as to how to celebrate World Autism Day. And so on April 2nd, we'll be hosting a private open to the autism community public event to celebrate World Autism Day, as well as to give them some access to all the installations that'll happen that'll be housed at Coneco. So then April 3rd, which is a Sunday, is the day when the installations at Coneco open officially to the public, and that'll run through April 30th. The kickoff also coincides with some of the artists and creators for these installations. And so for them, it's very important for them and for us, honestly, is to allow the targeted community, the autism community in which their work is inspired by and dedicated for, to have that kind of that April 2nd opportunity to have their families, because a number of these pieces is research. And so they want to watch and engage and get feedback from those they're trying to serve to figure out how they can, what's the next iteration of the thing that they're creating. So that's another component of this festival where this will be a catalyst for their work as much as it is a catalyst for our community. Yeah.
And I do want to mention, as we continue with the interview, the website is commonsensusfestival.com. I kind of glanced over here because I've got it up. So much great information as well, as people are looking to attend. Are there, does it cost to come to this, or what's? No.
Particularly the installations at the Coneco, it's free and open to the public.
Yeah.
As Justin said, it's April 3rd through the 30th. The gallery is closed on Mondays. That's the only thing that anyone should really know about. But other than that, we have gallery hours 6 days a week. And then we also have a really amazing installation called the Orchid, and that's actually going to be outside at Millwork Commons. So in the North Downtown area, it's being installed today. We're very excited about it. That's why Justin is actually.
I was going to say that's why Justin's down there. Yeah.
That's right.
And that will be up not only from March, but that installation will be up through the summer as well. So it will not be just the month of April. And those are both open and free to the public. And then everything that we're doing is either very minimal cost or free.
Sure.
For this.
And I'll highlight the interactive component. So specifically the Orchid and a number of the components that Sean Alquist is bringing, which is what's on the cover of the magazine, as well as the Orchid. They're interactive, and a number of these pieces. So it's you're not just watching or experiencing it. You're involved in it, and a number of these pieces, that human engagement in it creates an individual experience, and that is the design of the work. So it only does what it does when you're with it, because you're with it, and the next person comes in, it does something different because it's that person's experience. And so there's a unique experience, but the interaction is critical, and I think a real good kind of beacon for folks to want to come in and be a part of it.
Absolutely. That's so cool. What are the hours for that? To come in and do the interactive piece?
That's all the Coneco hours that's listed on our
okay, got it.
So when Coneco's open, those are open. Those installations are open. And then as long as the lights are on and the sun's shining here at Millwork, we're active, engaged with the Orchid.
So, and I'm again looking at your website. So you've got installations, you have performances, lectures, and workshops. So one of the performances is at the Rose. Are there other performances?
There are. So we have sensory-friendly performances with various organizations around town scheduled for the festival. So 2 performances of The Giver at the Omaha Community Playhouse, one on April 16th and one on April 29th. And those will be, if you go to the Playhouse website and or the Common Sensus website, there's a social narrative to check out and then tell you what kind of the accommodations that are being made for those particular performances. We also have 2 sensory-friendly performances at the Omaha Symphony. One also is during the day on April 16th. That is geared more toward adults with with either sensory sensitivities or disabilities. And then the other is May 1st. That's our last kind of performance, is wrapping everything up. And that's for young audiences. That will also be at the Holland. Both those will be at the Holland Center.
Okay. And then let's talk a little bit about lectures and workshops.
We have a really exciting lecture. I'll talk about the symposium, Justin, if you want to kind of follow through with the others. But on April 8th, we have, we're calling it Don't Dim the Lights. It's an arts and inclusion symposium. And we're bringing in 3 experts from various fields across the country. So one's an occupational therapist by trade, one is actually a stage manager, and the other is a behavioral psychologist, but all have experience working in sensory-friendly experiences in the arts, but also just in community at large in the broader kind of different sectors. And so we're inviting obviously the arts organizations in town, but really anyone that's interested that wants to learn how to make a space more inclusive for audiences. That will be April 8th. You can go to our website and register for that. That's also at the Playhouse, Omaha Community Playhouse.
Okay.
So one of the kind of unique pieces of this, or one thing that we wanted to remain true to, is the idea that this is going to be an awesome month, but it's going to also be the impact is going to be over a number of years. And so the goal here is that we're implementing trainings and opportunities to educate and create professionals that are able to then go implement this into across the community for a number of years. I just had some people walk in the room, so I got a little distracted there. So the goal is that on May 1st, Omaha community does not go back to where we were on April 1st.
Right.
I didn't just kind of have this great thing, but that on May 1st, this is a catalyst, and we begin our organization and our partners, and we have our phone keeps ringing for people that want to be a part of it. We've been so inspired by all the organizations and groups that just say, we heard about this, we've got this idea, can we do this? How do we do it? And the calendar just kept growing. We didn't design that calendar on day one. We've just kind of put out a call, and it's been answered by so many wonderful people. And so that's the Don't Just Dim the Lights symposium. The idea is that people here in town are trained by experts, and we can assist them along the way. And then we're hosting a showing of a movie, a documentary in a different key, which is an independent documentary winning independent film awards all over the country right now, based on a book of the same title. And the book is loosely the history of autism up to today here in the United States, and it covers some of the major battles and barriers and hurdles that have been cleared to some degree along the way, and then also sets the table for kind of where we at today and what more needs to get done, how do we do it. And so we're not only are we having the producers and the directors of the movie, who are also the authors of the book, come to town, but also some of the families that are highlighted in the documentary, and then host a panel discussion for a targeted audience of decision makers and stakeholders here in our community to say,
Sure.
Take 90 minutes of your time and kind of experience this and see where we're at. And so that, again, that's another conversation we hope continues to help kind of evolve our community, advance some inclusion, and make our community as welcoming as possible to those with neurodiversity, those with sensory needs, and specifically our autism community.
Yeah. When is that?
That is April 22nd.
Okay.
And then on April 23rd, we're hosting what we're calling Timbre Talks, Timbre, Timbre, as in the unique voice. And that is an opportunity for individuals representing the autism community, whether self-advocates or family members or professionals, to have a facilitated discussion about their experience here in this community. What's great about it, what they bump up against, and what could be better, and then also how would they change it. So not just tell us what could be improved, but let's hear from you how you would improve it. What does better look like, and how do we get there? And we'll also have the kind of the panelists from the In a Different Key will be present that day, and we'll have a panel discussion with our community. So kind of bringing that national voice here locally to hear, but also for them to listen to what our community has to say.
This is, I mean, I keep saying this is so exciting. This is a huge undertaking, on some sense. And I just love how, it has grown. I mean, you kind of started with, I'm not sure what, we have an idea, but as the community, are you surprised that the community has gotten so behind this, or?
No.
I mean, I guess I would say,
I'm not, just because the belief in the quality of what we've put together.
Yes.
It's really spectacular, the individuals we have coming here. And I think as more people learn about it and see what it is, the support's there. I want everyone to experience it. So I hope everyone in Omaha comes to the Connecco at some point during April.
Absolutely.
And I'll add, there's research and evidence, which will be presented during some of the events of the festival, but that the arts, visual, performing arts, are are tools that can be used to help advance the skills of individuals with autism in similar manners at therapies. We have a specific speaker who'll be talking about research showing improv classes are helping with social skill development, which is the same thing as some of the therapeutic interventions. So it's not like it's not these two houses. We're showing this. There's an automatic or already a symbiosis, if I may, between the two groups. And so we're highlighting that, as well as to your question about, the surprise of others. Our organization has been working with almost every one of these partners for years, creating similar events or programming or inclusion. There's a wonderful embracing of by the arts community of the neurodiverse community. So this is just a way for us to kind of pack it in and take it to another level than it really is some of the partnerships we've been having for years.
Well, as we wind down, we've got just a few minutes left. One of the questions is, how can our community help to improve in inclusivity? Let's, once we get past the event, what would you suggest, or what can we do? Or
I'm going to let Justin start. It's a loaded question, Andy. There's so much.
And you can keep it brief. And,
right.
Sure. Yeah.
The most fundamental level, the understanding of how, so with our Common Senses Festival, that how an environment can create a behavior and determine a behavior, and that is different for everybody, not just the autism community. It's for everybody. There's people who I like this smell, I hate that. What kind of food do you like? Those are things that are sensory pieces on in a contained level. And then with the autism community and with those with sensory needs, it can be a much more significant impact, right? So it could noises could cause pain. To be dramatic, but that's true. Those are steps that can be. So if there's understanding, we do trainings all across town with inclusion and this and that, and this is different things you can do, but we kind of always end with, if nothing else, if you can show grace in a moment when a family is experiencing a shutdown or a meltdown for their loved one, or if the loved one themselves is, when we talk to police officers, we say, if you can just add to your checkbox, could this be autism? If it's, based on a behavior. So really it is just to say, this is now a thing that we consider in a moment when perhaps there's going to be judgment, or perhaps there's going to be some other unfavorable exchange. If anyone just could say, wait, is this autism? That gets us just that much further. It allows families to feel more secure and welcomed in case things do go sideways in a public setting. And I'll stop there and look to Kate for any other additional.
I think, there's a lot of goals for the festival, but I think the biggest is, I've been a big, there's so much in the autism world that needs to be worked on, right? There's breadth of services that need to be expanded upon. We have individuals that are aging, so we need to look at things for lifespan. But I think the biggest, and at least for me as a parent, we were able to go to New York. We were able to go and experience these things with our child. So many people can't do that. And so, providing really good opportunities to go out and do stuff and providing a good quality of life for these individuals and these families is really important. But another part, in terms of just the broader public, if you come and you arm yourselves, you educate yourselves on what it's like to really have to walk this walk, right? What this life is like. We just need the community to meet us halfway. And if Common Senses gets us closer to the community understanding and meeting us halfway, then that's worth it right there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're almost out of time. And I think this is another loaded question is, understand, I think we understand what you're hoping to accomplish, or at least some of it, which again, gets the community, inviting the community to come out and really experience this. What comes next? Is this just the first of many Common Senses festivals as you look to the future?
This is definitely a launching point. This is not the exclamation. This is the start of the sentence. And so I don't necessarily mean like that if it'll be at this scale or in this particular type. But it's not going away. And certainly from here on out, we have a big, taking this and using it and using education of the broader public that we talked about earlier and moving the needle. But yes, a launching point specifically for me and then my involvement with AAP. And Justin, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I'd echo that. There's a number of things we already have planned to grow from this, or that's already happening that we believe with the inclusion work, with the timbre talks, and we're going to learn from the community that tell us these are the things and these are the priorities, and then we reflect as an organization if it's something we take on or if we help advocate and advance with others. And then there's things that we don't know yet that we'll learn in the moment that we'll go forward. But again, we want to move the needle and then keep it moving, not have it go back and, in May and say, well, that was fun. What's the next thing that's coming? This is kind of a major moment for our organization and for the community. And we plan on keeping that energy moving forward.
All right. Well, Justin, Kate, thank you both so much for the conversation today. I'm excited to experience this. I know the community will be out and just learning so much more because autism is not a part of my world. And I'm excited to learn more. And I know others are as well. So go to the website, commonsensusfestival.com, and I will see you both at some point during the month of April, probably several times. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for the conversation today.
Thank you, Andy. I really appreciate it.
Andy.
And folks, don't go away. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to visit commonsensusfestival.com. Lots of great information on the website, including a really awesome video. So check it out. And I will see you in April at Connecco for the Common Sensus Festival. Have a great week, my friends.